Just wanna talk a little bit about the markets. We have the S&P 500 still down on the month of June, and a lot of things happened. We had a decent correction with also crypto dropping pretty steep. I was looking to share the live stream on socials, but it's not allowing me to share the link. So now they have the wrong link on socials. But that's fine. We'll figure it out. We'll see if people join. So first things first, let's talk about the S&P 500. We were saying since the last stream that this is still a buy the dip market. So you want to be buying, especially indexes like S&P 500, Nasdaq, or mega caps. Nvidia is my favorite. Those are stocks you can basically buy and hold forever. And so far we had this kind of V-shaped recovery. So really nice bounce here. And I've been buying some stocks, but I've been buying some Nasdaq as well. So the Qs had a nice recovery as well from the lows here, and yeah, this just screams continuation for now. Um, no real warning signs. This was a nice pullback where you could have bought some cheaper prices, and yeah, the bounce happened, and now we wait for either a bigger drop or just the next correction incoming. Bitcoin, on the other hand, had a steeper correction. So you can see it went all the way from 82 to 60, basically $59,000. I had orders at 60K, but yeah, just looking at where we stand in the full year cycle, it doesn't mean because I bought that I don't think the price could go lower. So the 4-year cycle view tells us that we still have some time for downside action. But the hedge is, for me at least, to buy at least a Bitcoin and have it in my portfolio. So I bought at around $60,000, and that means my overall crypto allocation now stands at around 8% in the crypto portfolio. Let me double check. You won't see the screen because I can only share one page. So yeah, crypto is around 10%. And there's actually one altcoin that I added recently because we had the news of Cloud. So Anthropic basically removing the Fable model out of the cloud subscription because yeah, they got a letter from the government that it was too dangerous and they had to remove it. So they did that very quickly. And what you saw was some of the AI crypto coins really rip higher. So one of them that I've been following for a while is Bitensor, and it's basically decentralized crypto, decentralized AI. So you are not going to see it removed models because it cannot be removed. It's decentralized, not like a company like Anthropic or OpenAI. If they get a letter, they need to follow instructions. But Bitensor is decentralized, and so on this news, we saw a big uh, 20% move on Tau, and I only added like a small allocation to Nibble, and I probably add more if we get back to lower prices, just because this can become a serious narrative where security around AI is becoming highly regulated. So just like with Bitcoin, um, yeah, you cannot stop Bitcoin from existing, and the same is here for Bitensor, focused on AI. So that's one altcoin that I recently added because because of the narrative. I also saw Hype doing really good, making another all-time high. So it went all the way up to around $77. So very impressive. Um, had a steep correction, but buyers stepped in very quickly. So really strong price action. My take on crypto is to keep my risk low. So I don't want to add too many altcoins. I just want to wait and see how this 4-year cycle of Bitcoin resumes. Because, of course, it's possible that we are having a bottom here. This was a nice takeout of the swing low from February. So big takeout here of that swing low and closed above it again. And now we're seeing a bounce. Just zooming out, you can see, yeah, this is still a downtrend. So in order to confirm an uptrend, we want to see at least some some higher lows and higher highs forming. So could be something like this, where makes a higher low, and then it can bottom by making also higher highs as well. So that will be great if we bottom here. But looking at the cycles, there is a decent chance that we are seeing a small bounce, a bear market bounce actually, and then a resume lower. So I still have cash to buy at lower prices. I would prefer Bitcoin to really um, stall and go sideways for a couple more weeks, maybe months. And that means it's more likely that it's bottomed, and then I can allocate more aggressively near the end of the bear market, which is projected to be around October, September this year. So still a few months left. Think it's gonna be a boring summer. All the attention, of course, is going to SpaceX. So I don't know if any of you um, bought SpaceX. So yeah, three-day candles. Starting price was lower actually, 135, and now it's already at 209. So how much gain is that? So 55% gain in 3 days. I mean, that's impressive. By the way, hi Ryan, Paul, Paco Invests. and Shofi, if I say that correctly. Thanks for joining. Of course, as a value investor, I would not recommend to buy SpaceX. I mean, it goes against all odds. It's more expensive now, or it's more worth than Amazon. So I saw it overtook Amazon in market cap, which is insane because it's not even making any money. But the momentum is there. You wanna have, yeah, you have banks, institutions, that wanna see this succeed. So I understand that the first trading days, weeks are gonna be bullish. It's gonna catch a lot of attention. I had friends um, asking me how to buy it, if they should buy it. So those are like already red science for me. But in the short term, of course, you can trade it. I would just not hold it because usually what happens when a stock IPOs, well, we see a rally and then a 50 to 70% crash in the next coming months. So within 1 year, even. That's why, especially with my eToro portfolio, I won't be buying. This is highly risky. Um, but in the future, maybe. I mean, if it's gonna start making money and a good net income, I think this could be like a decent hold. But right now, the value investor in me tells me this is not um, an asset you want to hold in your portfolio that is very likely to um, continue higher. So that's just my take on SpaceX. Ethereum had a nice bounce here. So it had a nice bounce at the 1550 level, but also on the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart. So this is something we discussed in the latest stream. It was a nice place to take a trade. I just don't know, like, Ethereum has disappointed me a lot in the last years. So I'm currently sticking to Bitcoin, waiting for the 4 year cycle view, um, the bear market of the 4 year cycle to end, and then I will become a little bit more aggressive into buying, yeah, these uh, these altcoins. So for now, staying patient. The sector that has done the best, of course, is one technology. As you know, tech done really well, but within the technology, around, or I would say within the S&P 500, around 30% are semiconductors, and those are really dragging the market higher. It does look like it's going parabolic, but the market can stay unrealistic for a long time, so it's hard to know where is the top going to be. You see this dip has been bought very aggressively and even made a new high yesterday. So for now, momentum is still strong. This can drop um, even lower and then bounce again. So I do think the semiconductors are still in a strong trend, but you have to at least be careful buy and holding. I think if you're holding for 10 years, it's fine, but do know semiconductors are cyclical and they go through these down moves as well. So it's not the first time that we saw very steep prices and then uh, big corrections. So you can see this one was a 47% correction. We had one here, 2024, to the beginning of 2025 was 39% correction. So if this is gonna shave off around 40% from the highs, I mean, you're back to these highs from um February. And I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but it's something you should keep in mind when you're holding some of these semiconductors. I know a lot of people are not holding the SMH ETF, so the semiconductor ETF, but they're holding assets like AMD, Micron, or even smaller um, semiconductors like San. Yeah, this one very steep price, but you don't know like where it's gonna top. AMD, very strong price action as well. But the problem is if they're gonna start to report lower guidance, then the market will be trying to look forward 6 months ahead. And that's when things can reverse very quickly. So, this is not gonna continue forever. So be careful. I know some of the market bus crew I do streams with, um, they have been trimming AMD, they have been trimming Micron, but Nestor, for example, has been also buying the dip and selling the rip. So more as a trade, when you have 10% dips, he was buying, and then on 10% rips, he was selling. Something you could do, but that's really trading. If you're more into investing, my pick remains Nvidia, which is the leader. And of course, it has been lagging a little bit compared to the other ones, but I have been holding Nvidia throughout this whole move. So um, now it's just consolidation, and eventually we will see um, yeah the next leg higher again. So Nvidia, my favorite, and also the biggest allocation in my portfolio. By the way, Macro XX, thanks for joining. Alex, then thanks for joining. If you do have questions, things you want to check out, um, you can let me know, of course. In terms of the S&P, um, what I'm thinking in terms of price action, I mean, I've said it before, the most bullish period is starting October, November until 2027 April. That's the most bullish year phase of the market. And this is data going back all the way to the 1950s. So I'm gonna draw the box. So let's say we have November until April. Yeah, this is the period where you wanna be allocated. That means if we go higher, but then have a, a correction or a pullback, you want to have cash to buy indexes or your favorite stocks at this time frame, because usually this phase is the most bullish phase, because the midterms are over, uncertainty is gone, and yeah, price just usually rally during that time frame. So I am gathering cash to deploy for whenever we reach that point, and then I will deploy in my favorite assets, of course. Um, I've been uh, buying a lot of software stocks because I do think these are being dragged down for most of them, at least, no reason. There's a lot of fear going on that AI will disrupt them, but so far their earnings have been very strong. And I actually um, wanna show like one app I've been building. Is called Pinfolio. So I'm gonna quickly share it. And Pinfolio is built to get like a quick view of how the stock you're searching for is doing. So here it is. I developed this app using AI. So I'm not a coder. I did it with Cloud Code, and it's now live on the eToro App Store. So one stock that I've been bullish on was, for example, ServiceNow. So what you can do is search it, and then these are like all the features that are using AI. You can do a full analysis on ServiceNow. You can do a value estimation. You can do an earnings stress test. You can compare it with other stocks, and you can also check like why why is it moving so much today. So let's say you have it moving 8% down, then you can click it, and it will do decent research on um, why the price is down. So let me give you an example. ServiceNow dropped on earnings, but earnings were actually good at first glance. So you can go to earnings stress test, and it will basically check a few um, a few things to understand, like, is the price drop realistic, or is it because of sentiment? And it will help you basically um, understand you why the price is going down. So immediately you can see like the earnings were mixed because there were some headwinds in the Middle East. So the stock fell 14%, but they beat and raised on revenue and earnings. It gives you a quick overview of everything that improved in the earnings and went bad. You can look at how guidance was, because usually that's how price moves after earnings. If guidance is very low, lower as expected, then this is something uh, you can watch. Just a quick glance is showing you raised. If you want more details, you can review it, of course. The mode, so the competition, how is it versus its competition, and is it protecting its business against competition? And it will tell you if it's getting stronger or weaker. So for now, ServiceNow, it got actually stronger. the price. Um, so it's telling about the headwinds and everything that went, um, yeah, everything that is moving the sentiment actually. So something missed expectations here. The CRPO were missed, and then there is a broad tech growth stock sell-off, um, which gives pressure on the stock. There is a stress test on thesis. So here you have a few theses that are drafted, and you can pick one you choose to be agreeing with. So, for example, I am bull. Uh, it went away. Should not have happened. Luckily, this goes very fast. Yeah. So, one thesis, and then you stress test. So, here the thesis is ServiceNow's AI control tower and autonomous workforce will sustain 20% growth and expand margins as agentic AI adoption scales across enterprise. And then it will tell you it's intact or which is intact and what could be under pressure. And then it's up to you to decide, yeah, what will you change your portfolio allocation based on this? My opinion, um, it shows me that the company is still doing great and that I will be buying more if it drops lower. So, for example, if you're interested in buying, you can ask for the fair value estimate, and will do a calculation on yeah, what's it's worth. Fair value sits at 142. I know the stock was trading at around 106. So it's giving you a few uh, levels to add. 120, we're already below it. You can add at 105, strong buy at 90, and deep value at 75. And then you can even get a notification. So that's how quick you can analyze stocks these days in a structural manner. And for me personally, I'm using this when I want to have like quick news on assets that have big moves down, basically. So that was something I wanted to share. I don't know if I can share the link. So if you guys want to try it, I will drop it in the chat. But it is live on the eToro App Store. And then I was also playing with an AI agent. I remember talking about it a few streams ago. So let's see how it's doing. Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen again. So this agent is trading Bitcoin for me. Um, so what it actually is doing, and as I'm moving, I'm seeing some lines disappearing. Um, so you have to understand the AI agent can still make mistakes. I already launched one AI agent module, which works fine. You still have to train it, but it works fine. This one is more difficult because it's buying on each 1% dip and then selling on a 1% gain. So the assumption here is Bitcoin will eventually make new all-time highs again. Um, I'm actually very convicted that it will make new highs again. So that's why I'm trading it. So that means I think eventually it will go um, all the way to $126,000. We're sitting here at around 66K. So still a lot of catch up to do. And while I'm explaining this, I'm seeing all the sells and buys that my agent has been doing. So it's actually pretty insane how it's working. So basically, on every dip, let's go back to the 1 hour. Yeah, on every dip, that's 1% from all time highs. It's gonna buy Bitcoin, and then on every rip, it's gonna sell Bitcoin. And it's been doing that for the last couple of months. So buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. So very simple strategy, but the agent is having a hard time to actually um, keep on doing the same thing all over again. Sometimes there's a bug, and I need to um, yeah, train it a little bit. But every buy is giving me a 1% gain on the order I had. So let's say you you have $100 at each level. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is $900. And then when it goes down, it will trigger all the buy orders. But then when it goes up again, it will sell those orders at a 1% profit. And especially when things go sideways, it's really handy. So it's always buy, buy, sell, sell, sell all the time. Of course, when it's going down, it's only buy, 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 and then it's gonna gradually sell once we go higher again. So that's what this agent is doing for me. The only issue now is it's taking a lot of tokens because I'm using the OpenAI subscription for this, and even um, af- after using 1 month, it's already giving me a message that I used all my tokens for the month. So um, I have to find a way to keep on tracking the market, but at a less high rate. So I let a bot check every 30 minutes how the price is doing, and then decide whether to buy and sell. And it's not something you can do with a simple automated indicator, because those usually trade leverage Bitcoin, and this one is trading spot Bitcoin. So the only thing you can do is do this manually. But I don't see me always placing trades manually. Also, when I'm asleep, I'm not able to check the chart. So that's why it's so nice to have an AI agent trade for me. Um, I I don't know if you want to see the other indicator that I made. Let me see. It is the Bitcoin squeeze indicator. So this one is working fine with the agent. So it's basically taking trades for um, bull markets. And since we are not in a bull market right now, it's exiting when there is a failed bull market. So ideally, what we're gonna see is a a long trade. For example, here taking a long trade here, and then once the bull market starts, it continues to hold, and it will only sell when the momentum is fading and it's getting out of the trade. So the most recent trade was still in profit, but um, yeah, it was a small trade. So it entered here and it had to exit here because momentum was fading. Of course, if you would have hold, this is the drop it avoided. And on margin, on leverage, you want to make sure you avoid these drops. It's not like spot where you can just buy and hold, because on margin you can get liquidated. Um, so that's it, guys, for the stream. Remember, have cash for yeah this November timeframe for stocks, for Bitcoin. I would say even for gold and silver. All the stars align to that Q4 time frame. That's where you want to have at least another 10 to 15% cash to deploy for what is about to come after, which is the most bullish phase of the market cycle. All right, guys, I'm gonna head out here. Thanks for joining. And yeah, we'll see you next stream. Bye.